With only 5 weeks left in the NFL regular season, the playoff push is on, not only for the 32 NFL teams, but also for fantasy football owners around the country. And the increasing trend of fantasy leagues being comprised of all women is bringing the battle of the sexes to Super Bowl proportions. 17 Sports Director Lena Washington caught up with some local ladies who are tackling fantasy football with the big boys.
Since 2012, the fantasy football industry has seen an increase of nearly 500,000 female owners. And here in Kern County, many of them are playing in all-female leagues, showing men that they can make the right moves and talk all the smack they want because these ladies are in a league of their own.
I've never been into football.
I just like the competition. I'm not really into the games.
I've had some guys say, you know more about football than I do.
I know what I'm talking about. I'm not sitting there like a ding-dong saying, what are you guys talking about?
We're talking about fantasy football. The virtual game of creating a dream roster of NFL players has blown up into a multi-billion-dollar business.
We started our fantasy football in 2006. And a friend of ours at work came up to a bunch of us and said, do you want to play fantasy football? And we're like, well, we don't even know what that is.
But every year, more and more women are buying into the fantasy football frenzy that consumes NFL fans for months.
My husband's played fantasy football for a long time, and I was really annoyed having to watch football on Sundays. And so I decided I would show him what annoying is, and I would create a girls-only league. And I out-annoyed him, definitely.
That's right, fellas. The ladies are calling the plays now.
Yeah, I just kind of called some friends and said, does your husband play fantasy football? And most of them do. And so I said, would you like to be in a girls-only league? And my friends were a little apprehensive because we didn't know anything about football.
Leah Baldwin doesn't have a favorite NFL team and has never been into football, but she is one of many local women who decided to see what the fantasy football hype was all about.
We did the girls-only league for 2 years, and then the husbands realized we were getting good at it. We just kind of knew what we were doing after, starting our 3rd year, and the husbands wanted it.
Now, with a few seasons under her belt, Baldwin has learned the tricks of the trade to stay dominant in her league, sacking any preconceived notions about women not knowing football.
And a girl has won the league every year.
How do you guys feel about that?
Not so well. It hurts a little bit, I mean, I think we've played co-ed for 3 years, 4 years, and a guy has not won yet.
There are several different types of fantasy football leagues, but the concept is pretty simple. Draft a team, usually made up of 1 or 2 quarterbacks, 2 to 3 running backs and wide receivers, a tight end, a kicker, and a defense, all from different NFL teams. Then that team is pitted against another team in an 8 to 12 person league. And depending on what kind of league you're in, those players rack up points for their performance each week. Success in fantasy football comes from just paying attention, but some of it is also just luck.
I had Ray Rice and Adrian Peterson at get-go, and both of them, of course, didn't play a game.
I had RG3 was my quarterback, and of course hasn't played, and he came back and didn't do great, so that was kind of disappointing.
I mean, I started off awful. You start researching, you know who to pick up and who not to pick up and who got hurt and who didn't get hurt. And I mean, right now I'm in first place, so
Pauline Perales and a group of coworkers have been playing in an all-female fantasy league together for years. And with every passing season, the confidence builds, and so does the pressure.
When I finally lost my first game last week, I was just devastated. I put my head down. I had to have a few drinks.
My laptop or my iPad is on, and I have Stat Tracker on the TV, and my guy's on the TV, so if somebody does something, it shows, oh, so-and-so, threw a touchdown, you got, this point.
I think there went my game this week. Yeah. I think that was it right there.
These women are seasoned now, but it took some time for them to accomplish fantasy football ferocity.
And that first year really sucked because I won 1 game the entire season, and it was just like...
The first draft was kind of like, oh, that guy dates so-and-so. he dates a celebrity that we know. Or he's cute, we'll take him.
The first season, like back in 2006, we were very raw. We didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know how to draft a team.
But now the ladies are giving the men a run for their money.
No, I'm 7-1 this year.
The season's still early.
According to the Fantasy Sports Trade Association, of the some 33 million fantasy owners in the United States, about 6 million of them are women. I'm Lena Washington, 17 Sports.